How's it going? Josh Renzi here again, here to bring you part 3 of subject and verb agreements. I know, exciting stuff. So, in this video, we're going to be talking about indefinite pronouns and collective pronouns. Indefinite pronouns come in 2 categories, okay, singular or plural. These are the singular. And mind you, these are not all. These are just some of the popular ones. Some of the ones that you might come across on a daily basis. So these are singular. Okay. And these are plural. So whenever you have a subject that starts off with one of these words, that automatically makes it plural. It automatically makes your sentence plural, and in turn it automatically makes your verb plural or singular depending on the word. Let me give you an example. Let's take each. If you had the sentence, each of the movies is/are playing in the theater tonight. Now, take your subject for a second. It's movies, right? Because the word each is in front of it, you're not really saying all the movies, right? You're not really saying all the movies plural. You're saying each of the movies. Okay, because of that, it's actually singular instead of plural. I know it can be tricky. Just hearing the sentence, each of the movies is playing in the theater tonight, it sounds kind of wonky, right? Remember how we talked about in the first video how incorrect sentences can sometimes raise a flag in our mind, and our mind goes, well, that's not quite right. Well, indefinite pronouns tends to kind of counteract that a little bit, and so be very careful with these. Whenever you see these words, and definitely jot them down, whenever you see these words, each, every, somebody, anybody, everybody, and nothing, and again, these are just some of them. For instance, taking somebody, okay, taking the intro some. This can refer to somebody, someone, something. Same thing with any. So anything, anyone, everything, everyone, nothing, everything, and something. All of those are singular. One of the ways that I like to remember that these are singular, especially the somebody, anybody, everybody, and nothing, and the multiple variations of those words, is check out the ending of each word. The ending of each word is actually inherently singular, right? So something, let's take something for instance. It's not listed here, but it's one we mentioned. Thing is singular. It's only one. So if I said anything or something or everything, singular, okay? So again, it can be extremely tricky. But that's how I remember it. And that's how I've always remembered it. So maybe that works for you too. So these are singular indefinite pronouns. Now, to cover plural indefinite pronouns, these over here. Plural indefinite pronouns, you don't have to keep track as, you don't really have to keep track of as many indefinite pronouns that are plural. Okay, there are both, several, many, few, and all. Again, these are the most popular ones. There's probably a couple other ones floating out there. And definitely, always, whenever you're watching these videos, always do supplemental research. I will try my very best to post supplemental links that maybe go into a little bit more detail of what I'm saying. But definitely check that out. Don't just rely on the list I give you, because this board is small. So these are plural indefinite pronouns. So if you ever have a sentence that starts out with one of these, it's inherently plural. Okay? If I said all of the students in the class, I would have to use a plural verb along with that plural subject. So all of the students in the class are great at math. Okay, so I choose are instead of is because I have a plural subject. The word all making it plural. Same thing with both, several, many, few. They all imply multiple parts to the subject. So that's indefinite pronouns in a nutshell. Again, some singular, some plural. And next, we're going to cover collective nouns, which is super simple. Hang tight. All right, and we're back. Thanks so much for hanging tight. Collective nouns, we're going to cover them next. Now, the reason why I didn't list any collective nouns is because there are literally hundreds of them to list. And so, really and truly, I just want to define collective nouns for you. Collective nouns, you already know what they are. Essentially, they're a noun that takes multiple parts, okay, and groups them into a whole. For instance, if I were to give the word classmates, all right, there are multiple classmates that make up a class. So if I use class, then I'm using a collective noun to collectively group those classmates into one word, right? So class is a collective noun. So is group. So is family. If you're ever watching a movie and you're wondering what the cast, who played in the cast, that word, cast, is collective noun. Anything else? The army. The army is a collective noun. The most important thing to remember about collective nouns is that they're all singular. Okay? They could be plural in that I can have multiple classes or I can have multiple groups of things or multiple baseball teams that I love. Just joking, Red Sox all the way. But if I just take the word in and of itself, class, group, or team, then that's singular. Okay, so don't get confused. Some of the trickier words that often get misused sometimes is the word faculty. Faculty is one of those tricky words in that most often you might see it as being used in a plural context. That's actually quasi-acceptable. However, faculty inherently is singular because faculty collectively gathers all faculty members into one group called faculty. So if you were to write your sentence faculty members, then you're talking about each and every individual member of that faculty team, so that would be plural. But if you're just referencing faculty, the word, it's singular. So be careful of that. And so that, in a nutshell, is collective nouns. Remember, if the collective noun is singular, like class or group or team or cast or army or any one of those, then it is always, always, always going to be singular. In which case, remember, singular subject gets a singular verb. Remember our golden rule. And you can make collective nouns plural, which is fine, but just tack an S on there. Classes, groups, teams, that sort of thing. So thanks so much for tuning in for part 3. I hope you learned a lot, and even though subject and verb agreement can be kind of tricky, hopefully you mastered it and you can start correcting your friends. So have a wonderful week and good luck.